How's everyone doing today? Be live, hopefully. Today I am going live a little earlier than normal. I've been going live around 3:30 lately, I think, for an hour. I do need to wrap up a little while before 4:30, so that's why I went live a little early. Nothing major. I mean, last week I showed off the grades. I did not yet have the cards in hand, but last week I showed off the grades for a PSA, BGS, and CGC return. I had all three land on Monday. I had all three land. So I do have CGC, PSA, BGS cards if people want to see them. You already saw the grades though. Brad says, "Did you get banned on IG yet?" I have nothing to get banned over. I saw people going frantic. There's always got to be something that everyone gets all emotional and crazy about, right? And it seems like right now, it's people on Instagram having Pokemon in their name. I don't have Pokemon in my name anywhere. I've got Pokemon in my background, but not in my name. Not in my name, not in my logo. I don't know what's going on with that though. I saw somebody link a rattle video that was like 30 minutes long. I didn't watch that, but his video seemed to claim that people aren't getting banned for having Pokemon in their name. No idea what's going on. Not really too overly worried about it. Mr. Walrus has got the ban hammer ready. Oh, looks like Mr. Walrus himself has a Bidoof as his avatar, so you might want to ban yourself, Mr. Walrus. In what logo? I don't have a Pokemon in my logo. I have a generic lizard that does not look like any other lizard I've ever seen. uh so glad to see my financial advisor today. I'll be retiring on Nagabuzz this week. Oh, I forgot to get my let me grab my subscriber count quick. See if we can make that number move anywhere during this stream. But yeah, feel free to hit me with any questions. If anyone has any questions they want me to cover, I always take questions. No major topics for today. I wanted to give it a couple minutes for people to filter in. There's a handful of people in here. The vault. I'm doing. I mentioned in one of my live streams. I'm doing twice monthly vault submissions now. I might need to update that on my website and stuff. Let me actually verify that too. But yeah, I will be doing twice monthly submissions. The first deadline of the month, I have had a lot of people reach out to me. The first of the month. I'm not going to send on that actual day. I need to get it by the first of the month so that I can send it out by like the end of that week. So there's a little bit of leeway around it, but please just try to get it to me by the first of the month. If you want anything sent in the first wave August submission, first of two waves, send it to me so that it lands at my PO box via UPS or USPS by Tuesday, August 1st. Let me go to my other view. I can actually show. You can see my nice Nagaba Gem Mint 10 set. I do have the pristines back here, but I was just taking a new picture for Instagram. My pristine sets are here. These are on eBay. I didn't do a set of the Gem Mint 10s because I only got one Gem Mint 10 Sylveon. So I'm selling all these independently. I'm selling the pristines either as a set for I think a slight discount or individually. I might need to discount a little bit more for the set. But yeah, what was I just going to check? Oh yeah, I was going to check my website to make sure. I will be sending off by the 3rd or the 4th of August, the first wave. And then the second wave will be going the 17th or the 18th of August. So the deadlines being August 1st and August 15th for the two vault submissions. Vault sales are going really, really well. My eBay actually looks a little sad at times when it doesn't have one of those massive cards sell from the vault, which isn't all my money. A very small portion of it is my money. Most of it gets paid out to the consigner, 95% through the eBay vault. But it is still nice to see the big spikes on the eBay, but then after that promotion ended, after some big sales happened in the vault, it screws up the scale of my eBay recent sales, and it just looks like I'm selling nothing. Yeah, I'm adding right now. First business day. and 15th. 1st and 15th business day of the month. So that has been updated there. Need to update it on my website as well. But yeah, let me wasn't banned on IG. How's it going, John? Walrus, Brandon, other John. You say booyah, Professor Oak. Professor Oak throwing the nice little some lizard, nondescript lizard that looks unlike any other lizard I've ever seen in the chat. Thanks for throwing those emotes in there. Dan finally made it to live. Thanks for your content. Thanks for stopping in. Hunter, a member for 6 months. Golden boy, love to see it. Appreciate you. MetaZoo change coming soon. Mine is a weird clown, not Bulbasaur. Generic lizard. Yeah, L-Dubs is also a generic lizard. I can see it. Doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. Let's go on Luke C. My Wednesday is going fantastically. I hope yours is as well. Mr. Walrus says, question, do you own a steamer? I'm in the market for one, but there's so many. Are you talking like a steam cleaner? I think we have a steam cleaner for like carpets. Our last house had quite a few carpets. Our new one, we just have like a couple area rugs. But we still do have a steam cleaner for carpets. And then if you're talking like a cooker, we have a rice cooker, which can also just steam foods. I don't use it very often. One of those like overly specialized kitchen tools that probably aren't worth having, in my opinion. Petition to ignore all non-gold stars in the chat. Petition denied. I'm still at the size where I can see every comment. If and when I grow, I mean, the gold star catches my eye. So if and when I had a chat scrolling too fast that I couldn't keep up, I might have to just opt for the gold stars. Not happening anytime soon, though. When will you be accepting indirect Pokemon business items to your eBay vault, like label printers and Ethernet cables? If eBay vault ever opens up to them, I will consider accepting them. Anything that they take, I'll take on your behalf to sell on my eBay. Dan showing off the bricks again. Bullish on Hello Kitty Zoo. Big numbers, big money. Bierski's in the Gold Star crew. Mertz is only dumpy blue. Dan, how would you compare sourcing between eBay, TCG, or pack breakers, or other suggestions when buying cards in bulk? I don't know if you're talking about just buying a variety of cards in bulk or buying like one certain card in bulk. Great thing about TCG Player, this is one of my submissions that landed recently. It's not all of them. It's just a small amount of them. But if I want to buy like 50 of a Celebrations Charizard, TCG Player easily wins because I can click one default, like Celebrations Charizard has a listing, and then I can buy a massive quantity. I can buy like 10, 20, 50, 100 at a time. So TCG Player is amazing for sourcing multi-quantity of one. eBay is great for like collections, and then pack breakers. Most product is negative EV, so pack breaking is probably your last route for getting singles, generally speaking. Gold means we are special. The new label fits the Nagabuzz better than the old label. It was all planned. I have to say, I was not one who was like overly, I was not overly harsh on the blue labels. Like I didn't mind them, but these new labels, they really do hit nice. Like I'm not just saying that because a lot of my inventory is going to have these labels moving ahead in hand. Like to be honest, I thought these labels looked really bad via scans, via photos, even via video. Like you might not be able to see it and appreciate it, but I saw a lot of scans of these. I didn't think they looked good. They got like a little artifacty and grainy around the Gem at 10, but seeing these in hand, they really do hit nice. Like I think the black and white is just a lot more muted. It's a lot less likely to clash with any cards. And then the black and gold, it's just that like standout. It's where you can see a distinct difference. It has that like branding going on of the black label. It has where across the room you'll be able to see like, oh, that's a pristine 10. I don't like, I mean, all the things that I mentioned. I don't like that they lost like the perfect branding in favor of pristine, which used to be second place, but now it's first place. But in some people's minds, it still might be second place. But overall, when I opened this submission, it landed Monday, and I think I opened it yesterday. That was the first time I held these in hand, and I'm actually a fan. That said, I wasn't like I didn't hate these either, but these I can say are better. And when you're comparing it, I have a consigner's cards here in front of me. When you're comparing it to something like that, CGC wins cases and CGC wins labels, in my opinion, easily. But I collect the cards, though, or I used to collect the cards. Now I do business in the cards, but most people just want to buy labels. So I'm out here selling labels, and CGC has some nice ones. Um, Theme cleaners are OP for the carpets and couch. Um, I don't know if this is I don't know if this is being serious or not. Have you ever tried an all meat diet? I've been getting told it's supposed to be really healthy and will make you feel great with more energy. I may try 4 weeks, just me. I don't know if that's a meme or not. My normal diet is way too close to that. I do not eat enough fruits and veggies, so it would not be a drastic change. I mean, for lunch, I literally just had. Did I have any sides? I didn't have any sides. I just had two chicken quarters, chicken leg quarters, leg thigh that I smoked and grilled the other day. So yeah, my lunch was literally just meat with some barbecue sauce. Um, Not ideal. I try to get some sides in there. I think tonight I'm picking up subs for dinner. So it'll be primarily meat, bread, and cheese are the three staples of any meal for me. And then there'll be some veggies on there. I do banana peppers and pickles and green peppers and onions and cucumbers. I don't do tomatoes. I don't do olives. And now you know my sub preferences. Go viral already. I need to feel special. Dan, why are you so salty about not going viral? Wasn't that that was my video a week and a half ago. Come on, we're on the new video now. We're on the consistency one. I probably I think I filmed those both the same night, so I don't even remember what I talked about anymore in the consistency video. But yeah, I know my place. I know my role. I know my role is to have a nice small number there. If that were to ever reach 5 digits, I'd be shocked. Right now I'm on pace to make it in about 5 years. Will I still be doing this in 5 years? I have no idea. I mean, if the market stands the way it is, and if I'm able to do what I'm doing in my normal like eBay business for the next 5 years, I might be out of here. Who knows? I might be on a beach somewhere, even though that's not how I'm gonna retire. If and when I'm never gonna fully retire from anything, but 5 years I might be scaled back heavily. I might be where I need to be. 4% rule, financial independence, and all that. One certain card in bulk TCG player wins, in my opinion. If it's like vintage, if it's mid-era, if it's something that doesn't have a massive PSA 10 rate, if a PSA 10 is not a participation trophy for that card, then you might need to go to eBay. You might need to look at actual pictures. But when you're buying cards like this, I mean, I'm comfortable buying in high bulk, not seeing scan, and then just filtering out the ones that aren't gradable and getting rid of them myself. You're gonna be up another 100 plus V-Star universe boxes once this reprint comes. I have like 60-ish, I think. I should have sold some. I didn't realize how high they had gotten. I should have sold a little bit, but I'll probably buy more. If it goes low enough, I'll buy more for sure. Hit the like button on your way into chat. Appreciate you, Retro. I lost. There we go. There's my live chat. Dan, will Japanese prices rise due to Yahoo and Pokemon working together to ensure that listings are clear about exactly what is being sold and that items are not sold before official release dates? I have no idea. Must be Yahoo Japan is cracking down on. Yeah, I don't really know. Sounds like Yahoo Japan is cracking down on something, but I'm not sure what effect that will have. I'm not really sure of the details behind that. Ernie and Mr. Walrus talking about their steam cleaners. Yeah, the clarity of the slab. Like, if we're truly collecting the cards inside, hell, even if we're collecting the labels, don't we want to see the label as clearly as possible? Whether we're collecting the card or the label, plastic clarity is above all else. It should be, in my opinion. Nice acetone card. Yeah, this one is a filler card. Oh, I don't have that one on anymore. Nice filler card there. I would think CGC could easily differentiate an acetone card from a filler card. And you have to stop drinking milk. Would love if grading companies just sent me empty slabs, sell labels, not cards. You actually can buy. I mean, you can buy empty snap case slabs. You can buy your own sealer. You can create your own walrus grading company. WGC. There you go. You wouldn't be the first one. A lot of them popped up in 2020. Do you think CGC Gem Mint 10s will come closer to PSA equivalents? Will people move toward collecting CGC 10s in the future? I think short term, people are really stubborn and people are really dead set largely on PSA. I think 10, 20, 30, 40, I mean, into the distant future, I think the card will matter a lot more above all else. People act as if grading is a final thing. People act as if once you sonically seal this thing, as if you can't open it without destroying the card. It doesn't make sense that a company who grades significantly more difficult, and not universally, the scales are different. There's not one company, generally speaking though, CGC grades harder than PSA. On apples for apples comparisons, they give out less. We need to look at the new data. What else did they change when they went to this new label and grading scale and all that? But I think that'll matter. I think it'll matter. I think the market will become, and I know how dangerous this is to say, given how irrational and illogical it can be at times. I think the market will move towards slightly more rationality and logic, but maybe not though. If and when they don't, I'll just continue grading where it makes the most business sense. There's a great case to be made for grading in the short term, new release cards in mass quantities, some amount with CGC, some amount with BGS, some amount with PSA. I think any business that solely goes towards one of those three is really handicapping themselves, and I think they're missing out on some opportunity. If you've got one card, like say you've got one WotC irreplaceable, yes, picking the optimal one is much more of a thing. But I'm talking about if you're buying thousands, I mean, I have literally thousands of Nagaba packs. If you have thousands of a card, you need to get them into different labels, in my opinion. So yeah, I'll grade every card where it feels most optimal. And for a lot of the really mass-produced stuff, it's most optimal to get a blend. It would be nice if slabs were the same for every company, and you could swap the label out based on your moon. I mean, you can literally just get a one touch. Like, people get so obsessed with the plastic. People get so obsessed with the need for external validation. It just goes to speak towards like our whole social media, whatever. But you can get a one touch. I think they actually make like custom snap cases, magnetic cases, where you can put a label. You can put whatever you want up there. I mean, you can say that it's perfect black label, whatever you want to call it. You can print your own labels out. Ultimately, it's just a card. It's just a card. And I think, to the benefit of my business, people just horrifically overvalue the third party of opinion of these grading card companies. I think universally across the board for every card in every condition, there's just like too much of a premium put on the actual plastic. I guess except for where it's actually selling for sub mint. And I think that will become more the norm moving ahead. I've mentioned it many times. I think there will be dollar bins in Pokemon. I think there will be a lot of cards that just, even in 10 grades, sell for like at or less than the raw price. Because as of right now, it's just like, it's silly how much people pay for everything. Even if it's as a consumer, it's like some of the premiums are just crazy. And some of that's imposter syndrome. We're deeper into this than everyone else is, blah, blah, blah. Long enough timeline, though, on these super mass-produced cards. Like, there's going to be plenty to go around. I don't know. Milk is a very solid drink. Dan, do this later. I'm trying to watch the Slab podcast right now. I did not yet start the Slab podcast, but I'll probably listen to that tomorrow. Blow up. We need you to go to Card Party and get us in. I have actually sold to Pat a couple times, and I've DM'd with him a little bit here and there, but I don't think I'll be able to swing a Card Party invite. Who knows, though? I think he had some pretty small creators. If I reached out and said I wanted to come, maybe I'd get my own little custom Pokemon card made for the branding, for the advertising. Ernie says, L-Dubs, I followed it religiously for about 12 weeks in 2020. It works, but was hard to maintain given lifestyle with family and friends. I don't know what L-Dubs has said. I don't know what L-Dubs had mentioned, but I think I missed it. Dan, if the market hits a lull period, are you saying you will cease to be our online financial advice? Because if so, I have to start looking for a backup. No, I mean, I don't see a scenario where I won't be here for the next like 2 to 3 years. But 5 years starts becoming a long amount of time. I mean, I've been full time at this for 2 years now. I'm quite confident I'll be full time in this for another 2 years at least. But life can throw so many curveballs at you. The markets can change. 5 years ago was 2018. How different was 2018 to today? Like, not just in Pokemon, but in like real life. Like in the so many things have changed. All this Chat GPT, AI, just the further, yeah, further changes of society. Think like, I can't even imagine 30 years from now. Think 30 years ago when I was early 90s, mid 90s, say 25, 30 years ago. How drastically different the world is, and where's it going to be in 25 to 30 years? Hopefully, we're all still alive then. Hopefully for another 50 plus. But yeah, 5 years is a very long time, and it's hard to say that I'll definitely be here then. So 2 years, I got you. 5 years, probably, but I can't say for sure. Dan, it's called the carnivore diet. Only meat, no milk or other drinks, just water, no cheese or breads. I can't do that then. I mean, for a month, maybe I could. How extreme do you get, though? Like, I love chicken wings. Can I have chicken wings with, like, blue cheese on them? Probably not, right? Can't have any kind of a sauce on my wings? I heard September. I heard from my Japanese Instagram connection September. I've never looked into any kind of a diet. I know that I need to lose weight. I should probably lose 30 or 40 pounds. Caloric deficit. I should probably eat less, generally fats, less sugars, more green stuff that I don't like to eat so much. But I know what I need to do. All these different fad diets, all these different keto and yeah, I I hear people doing them all the time, all these different things, and they just don't seem sustainable. They don't seem for me. I just need to eat more balanced and exercise more is what it works down to. Then how much meat do you eat in a week given you have a smoker? A lot. Probably too much. Too much. I know the food pyramid. We got taught the food pyramid when I was growing up, and apparently that was all just like they're not doing that anymore. But my food pyramid, if that were a thing, would just be like meat, bread, and cheese as the trio. That's all you need. With modern English print quality being so hit or miss, is there any modern card or set that you'd have shied away from as far as a modern grading play? A lot of them. Anything that, like, if I can't get at least, I mean, it's all just math, right? It's all just math at the end of the day. I like this card because it's a participation trophy type 10, where over 60% of them get 10s. And if you want to see the data on how many I bought near mint on TCG Player and the method by which I bought them, feel free to subscribe. Link below, my link tree. There's a link to the Patreon in that link tree. And I show you like how I bought 100 Charizards and how many were gradable and what grades did they get. All that data is there. Too much for YouTube though. So check out Patreon for that. Pokenomics Patreon. Pikachu said fad diets are trash. Proud of you, Dan. A lot of it is just like that get rich quick mentality. Like people want to get rich quick. They want to get skinny quick. They want to just shortcut. Going back to my last video, consistency. Low, slow, steady. Talking about smoking meats, low and slow. You don't want to race. You want to break down all those fibers in the meat. You want to tenderize it up. You want to get a nice, delicious end product. And the best, most sustainable way is just low and slow and steady. So mixing in a lot of analogies and a lot of different things there, but yeah, I think the fad diet thing is just like get rich quick schemes, and people are just trying to shortcut their way to their goals, shortcut their way to success, and a lot of times it doesn't pan out. A lot of times it leads to people burning out or getting burned, and yeah, I'm slow and steady. Slow and steady and consistent. Bullish on McDonald's Quaxley match battle next month. I've not seen anything about that. WGC 9.4s. Yeah, nutrition is a scam. Look at the food pyramid we were lied to for years. I'm a fan of bread, but I'm a bigger fan of meat, cheese, and bread. The three staple food groups. Mr. Walrus is charging $100 for 10s, $90 for 9s, $80 for 8s. Yeah. Just tell Pat you're a fisherman. Dan, how many boxes are you planning to get from V-Star Universe reprint coming up? I have 60 to 80, I want to say. I think I bought 100. And maybe I have 80 to 100, because I think I bought 100 so far at like, I don't remember what I paid. I need to keep closer track of this stuff. But if they go to like 50 or 60, I might buy a couple hundred. If they go to 80, I might buy 100, and then if they go to 60 after that, I might buy a bunch more. It's all just like feel. I can't say I'm going to buy exactly this amount regardless of price. It's very price dependent. It's very just feel dependent. Will you rip and break down booster boxes if they follow the same price trends as SNV and Paldea? I'll just sit on them. I guess I'll kind of invest in them short term for a while. Historically speaking, Pokemon sets would just sit stale for 2 to 5 years. And I was buying like 5 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, when I had an order of magnitude less capital, or orders of magnitude less capital that I was working with. I was sitting on a box or two, or a case or two of a lot of sets, and I want to continue to do that at a slightly higher scale, but it isn't optimal if they're going to be available at distribution. Like right now, I can go on my distributor and I can buy all the Paldea Evolved I want, or all the Scarlet and Violet I want for $95 a box. I paid $96.50 out of the gate, and I've sat on them for a few months already. That's not optimal. If I have to sit on those for 3 years before I can sell them for break even, that's a lot of tied up capital. If and when it's such an interesting thing, because it's like price goes up because price goes up, buy high, sell low. People only want to buy their whole allocations when their whole allocations are profitable. So we're going to be getting into this interesting scenario where for the past 3 years, everyone wanted everything because it was all stonks. And now that Mason just made a video, shout out Cardinal Gaming. He made a video about how Obsidian Flames in the pre-release window, where I can't even sell it yet. Nick can't even sell it yet. Only stores who have the early allocation, whatever, due to having pre-release, it's already at zero profit. It's already being listed for zero profit, zero margin on TCG Player. And yeah, like it just doesn't make the sense. It doesn't make sense to tie up that much capital to sit on cases for 5 years, of which 2 or 3 of them you can buy from your distributor. Like, why buy Paldea Evolve today at 96 when I might be able to buy it at 2 years for 96 from my distributor? Or even better, it might be $79.99 on eBay, shipped. Just like it was for Crimson Invasion, just like it was for Roaring Skies, just like it was. I mean, if Pokemon Classics, the whole bullwhip effect, if we go into a downturn, if and when the bullwhip cracks that loudly, I guess, if it cracks that wildly, $40 base set booster boxes in 2003, $40, $30 that weren't selling. Like, we could see that. Like, people don't understand what the downside could be. I'm not calling for it, but it's possible. There could be $40 Paldea Evolve booster boxes in a year or two. And if and when I buy those at $96.50 times 200 of them or times 150 of them, and I'm sat on them for 5 years, I mean, every TCG dies eventually. Again, I get painted as such a bear because I say what could happen. I do not think this is going to happen. But a lot of people look at Pokemon. Every box is higher. It used to be every box is higher than when it first launched. Now it's like all of them except for the last 2. Soon it'll be all of them but the last 3. Whether it's 5 years or 5,000 years from now, Pokemon will probably die at some point, and there will probably be some point where none of it's worth anything. It's worth $10 a box, but you can't sell it. You can't ship it for that. And when that happens and whether or not it happens during our lifetimes, who knows? But there's some amount that you have to allocate to that potentially happening. You look at Pokemon and you say everything's always gone up. Well, that every TCG was that way until it wasn't, right? Like if you took the right timestamp in Beanie Babies, everything only went up until they didn't, and then it died, and then it went away. And Pokemon isn't Beanie Babies, blah, blah, blah. I need to get on the next comment. The South Park food triangle. I haven't watched South Park in so long. I feel like I've missed like the last 10 seasons of it. I was actually up through college. I watched a lot of them. I need to catch up on those some point. Love that show. Good luck, L-Dubs. May the odds be ever in your favor. Yeah, it really is as simple as burn more calories than you consume. People talk about it like losing weight is rocket science. It's caloric deficit. Yeah, like people try to excuse, like I know I'm overweight and I know the things that I have to do to not be overweight. I just don't do them. Same like I don't want to venture too far into this because some people will get offended or whatever potentially, but yeah, not everyone, when it comes to like finances and things like that, not everyone is purely in full control of their situation. Some people are actually health reasons, whatever it may be, but a lot of people just try to excuse political reasons or different reasons. Who's keeping them down? Everyone likes to have boogeymans. Everyone's the hero in their own story, and they like to point out these boogeymans. And some people have boogeymans for why they don't lose weight. It's because you don't have a caloric deficit. Some people have boogeymans about why their budget's screwed up, and it's whatever it may be. People always like to have some reason why they're being kept down, why they're being held back from their full potential. And it's usually them. It's usually not anything external. And that's me. That's me being 250 when I should be 210 or something. How big is your yard? Two beers, 3 beers big? There's like a yard glass, right? I don't have a yard glass. My stein isn't that tall. Oh, are you talking? Okay, I think I was. There's actually a yard glass that holds. I don't know how many ounces those hold. Maybe you mean like when I'm mowing my lawn. How many beers can I consume while I'm mowing my lawn? I normally don't. I don't think I've ever had a beer on my lawnmower. I wouldn't think that would qualify for drinking and driving since I'm not on a road. But yeah, I've never actually had a beer while I was mowing. It would probably be a 2 beer lawn. 2 beer lawn, 45 minutes, somewhere in there. 2 beer, like, depending on where you're at in the night. If it was start when you're trying to like, you're a little thirsty, you're going a little quicker, 2 beers. But later on in the night when you're like, yeah, beer every 45 minutes or so maybe. It depends on where you're at. Are you big on Evolving Skies long term? I have 0 Evolving Skies. I have loose packs from collection boxes and things like that. I have 0 sealed boxes. If and when they get reprinted, I will take allocation. I will not chase. I will not buy at 400. I will not buy at 300. If it retraces 30%, no restock, no reprint, whatever, I still won't buy at 300. If and when I get offered some at like 180 or 200 through my distributor, I'll think about it. If I get offered some at 86.50 through my distributor, I'll take everything I can get. I mean, I'll take 1,000 boxes at 86.50 probably, but that would get fairly dark if I were getting 1,000 boxes though. Why does V-Star Universe get a reprint but CZ doesn't? Crown Zenith still has sets coming out, still has collection boxes coming out, like the Morpeko thing that just came out, the Morpeko V Union. I don't know if there's still more Crown Zenith coming out, but there might be. I did not buy any sorcery. I've mentioned it before, but I don't like to buy things where I don't have a built-in advantage up front. I like to buy cards at X% of market. I like to buy stuff wholesale. I don't like to compete on level ground with other people. There's enough money. My cash flow, whatever my cash flow is on a daily, monthly, annual basis, I can spend all of that buying stuff at 70% of market, 70% of retail. Why would I buy stuff at 100% of retail when I can bankrupt myself at a fraction of retail? You know what I'm saying? That's my own personal thinking. So if I miss out on buying at 100% of market and then the market 10x's, I miss out. Because, I mean, there are things that I buy at 70% of market and the market 10x's on them, and now I've made even more, right? If I'm getting in at 30% discount or 50% discount or whatever discount is, pending what I'm buying, it's just, yeah, it's all about, I mentioned many times, not going broke on good deals and then missing great deals when they come along. If I were to buy every seemingly good deal at like market and invest and hold and this and that, I would run out of money so quickly. And that's with a lot more capital than I used to have years ago. I don't have $1 million a day of cash flow, but if I had $1 million a day of cash flow, I could spend all that sub retail. So I'm not gonna play in retail at all. I did not buy any Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th. I'm trying to stay primarily Pokemon. 95% Pokemon, 5% Metazoo. I guess 90% Pokemon, 5% Metazoo, 5% like other. I have a little bit of One Piece coming in. I killed it on the first one. I'm probably gonna buy them until I regret it, and I'm probably gonna regret it pretty soon. I'm not touching Lorcana. I need to primarily just stay in Pokemon, and then a little bit of like the Metazoo partnership stuff. I need to make a Metazoo video soon, just updating where I'm at with it. I'm really stopping buying a lot of the ancillary product. I want to just buy the main set releases in high quantity, do mass rips, and sell. I don't really taking up too much time and space. I'm losing Troll and Toad Evo, so one big consideration moving ahead is space. And if I buy a million different SKUs of like specialty Metazoo product, so much more complex, so many more listings. If I buy native, if I buy $50,000 worth of native, it's the box, it's the spell book. I break down all the decks. It's like 20 or 30 different varieties of deck promos and sealed decks, and then it's the singles. It's like 100 listings or 50 to 100 listings for the singles. And that's a lot less cumbersome than buying every specialty product and having literally thousands of SKUs. Having 200 new SKUs 3 times a year for their main set releases is a lot more manageable than having 5,000 new SKUs a year. So that's the route I'm going to look to take ahead in the future with Metazoo. I bought too many NFT products. I bought too many just onesie, twosie type things that are just cumbersome to move. And I mean, some of them go up a lot, but some of them go down too. So it overall is just not worthwhile relative to the amount of effort I have to put in. I have no idea why Rule Over the Black Flame is doing what it's doing. Short-term supply and demand. I mean, that's what it is. So Ldub says apparently the initial release is tiny and the next wave is the really big one. So FOMO, impatience, a lot of people paying a big premium, just needing to have it now, as people do in life. Congress just testified that aliens are real. Question, will the aliens collect Pokemon cards? Hopefully. I mean, 9.7 billion might not be enough if we have an infinite amount of extraterrestrial collectors joining us soon. The One Piece TCG has crazy margins still. Boxes are like $70 through distro and are consistently selling on eBay for $180, $120. Yeah, I mean, I did Paramount War, I believe is the set I got in. I bought it, I flipped it immediately, made a crazy amount of money on a couple cases. Going out through September, I think I have allocations confirmed, pre-orders confirmed for One Piece. Beyond that, I don't know if I'm going to continue ordering it because it's just one of those things that like takes my focus more away from the consignments, from catching up on my own personal stuff. I have a robot. I have the Magic Sorter robot. I've not yet set that up. Like, I don't even want to do a box break this month stream. So I guess I might as well mention Pokeflips is tomorrow at 1:15. We'll be live. I might be live tomorrow night with Jake. Jake's going to be in town. He's going to be visiting, staying overnight on his way out to the National. So Jake and I might go live tomorrow night. I worry for how that might end up. But I'm going to do Friday night. Instead of doing a box break stream this month, I'm going to do an old school RuneScape stream. I think that's going to be my trend moving ahead. Same as normal. A video every Monday, a short every Friday, a live either Wednesday or Thursday, pending my schedule. And then once a month, instead of it being like a box break stream once a month, it's just going to be one night stream a month. That's either a box break, or maybe it's RuneScape, or maybe it's Fortnite, or maybe I'm fixing my lawnmower, or whatever it ends up being. A variety stream once a month. That's going to be the plan moving ahead. This month it's going to be RuneScape. I'm going to be slaying the Alchemical Hydra on Friday. And then wherever else it goes from there. Yeah, downside is huge. History always repeats itself. After base hype, there was a huge dip. Diamond Handers will do the best. Diamond Handers did the best eventually through base set, obviously holding a $40 box that wasn't selling, that $30 maybe even at some points, that went to sell for $30,000 20 years later. That's abnormal. I don't think that's happened in many other industries, many other hobbies. There are people still diamond handing Beanie Babies. There are people still diamond handing a lot of dead TCGs and CCGs. In 2020, revived a lot of the dead TCGs and CCGs, but I think we could come again 25 years ago. Think where you were. Think what you were doing. Think how different life was. 25 years from now, dead TCGs, dead CCGs, they might all be dead. We might be doing some futuristic Ready Player One type scenario, the Matrix type, plugging into some digital world and not even interacting in the physical world anymore. Who knows? No one knows. So just because that's what happened in the past does not mean that's what's going to happen again. These things can effectively go to zero. I'm not calling for it, but like that is a risk. That is a risk to some extent. I'm 11 minutes behind in chat, and I've gone through a couple cycles. History is repeating itself because 11 minutes ago I was talking about Beanie Babies, and 11 minutes later I'm talking about Beanie Babies again. I think a lot of opportunists, and I myself am some percentage opportunist, right? Like I was here before 2020, but I benefited heavily and I capitalized off the opportunity that 2020 presented itself. I've taken allocations and just flipped them onto the market. I've made a lot of money just doing small, quick things in Pokemon for a few year span, and that's going away. So I think that's going to kill a lot of people who did not like remove capital, who did not build a big foundation, whether LGSs, whether online retailers more so, because as of right now, like Mason said in his video, there's no margin. It's negative margin to sell online, especially platform fees, supplies, and shipping fees. How's CGC new 10 labels going comparatively to the old 9.5? I only have Nagabas right now, and I did not have many old Nagaba 9.5s, but higher. Bigger number, bigger money so far from what I see. Mr. Walrus says, I'm the villain in his story. L-Dub's throwing up the stop sign to throw in a nice meme pizza tracker comment. I forgive you, Ponga. Dan is the villain in everyone's story, some just don't know it yet. Never had a beer while mowing. Well, it's been fun. See you, boys. I sweat a lot, and it's just not that pleasant to sweat out alcohol. That I guess it's not like I'm always mowing when it's 80, 90 degrees, but I mow, I listen to a podcast, I have some Gatorade, I hydrate up, and then I go grab the beer, and then I fire up the smoker, fire up the grill, whatever's going on for that night. I pre-hydrate while I'm mowing, and then I subsequently head to the beers. Yeah, toilet talks needs to happen. Ponga and Walrus are working. They're working behind the scenes on something. Nice new podcast, I think. TCG players giving the green light on selling Lorcana singles on release for certified hobby shops. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be an absolute mess, I'd imagine. Do you think that Pokemon is transitioning to big box stores? And if so, what does that mean for the hobby and LGSs? Means bad things for LGSs, means bad thing for online retailers if they just decide to funnel everything through Target, Walmart, things like that, PokemonCenter.com, Amazon. Like they could take the route of what Wizards of the Coast does with Magic. They could go not even necessarily just big box stores. They could go direct themselves. They could wipe away big hobby and LGSs without even doing only big box stores. They could just go direct with PokemonCenter.com and Amazon and whatever else. I think it would be to the detriment. Maybe I say that solely because of my bias, because it would lose my access to distribution if they got rid of it. But one thing that Pokemon has that I would not be shocked if they changed, I'm online only and they sell to me. There are a lot of TCGs. Lorcana, I believe, is one. Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe, is one. Magic, I believe, is one. You need to have brick and mortar to buy it. And I honestly think that's a reasonable policy. I think it's reasonable to support the LGSs who have so much more overhead and all this and that. And I mean, I don't want it to happen, but I would not be surprised if Pokemon got done with online retailers and made it exclusive to brick and mortar. I mean, maybe I'd have to look into opening up a brick and mortar of some kind. And I would get all kinds of crap about the whole fisherman story if I hired someone to run an LGS for like 20 hours a week or something. But there's probably minimum requirements. Probably couldn't even do that. Probably not happening anytime soon. I'd probably just be done. I'd probably just be done with buying stuff wholesale in Pokemon. Thoughts on Lorcana? It's going to be stunk to all hell, I'd imagine. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Lorcana will be outlasted by Metazoo. Metazoo will be alive in 5 years. Lorcana won't be. That's my hot take. Flip it. Call me out. Call me out. Tag me. At me in 5 years when I'm wrong. If I'm wrong. I'm not going to be wrong. How's it going? Quinones family. Probably saying that wrong. Quinones family. They're starting to give big box stores boosters. Does Walmart and Target and those have booster boxes now? I've not heard about that. That's something that's always been like LGS online exclusive. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting if they were starting to get booster boxes. I hadn't heard that. Pokemon is strong, but it's not a unicorn. We are living in La La Land, but it could get dark very quickly. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be live till about 4:15 or so. I have about 25 minutes left. I do need to get to the post office and UPS before they close, so Pokemon Gym Hero was born in the dark. He's not afraid of the darkness. Yeah, there were people that were full time in 2012. Like 2012 was a very down time for the hobby. Have said it before, and I think some people get offended when I say something like this. I'm bullish on me. I'm bullish on my ability to stay full time in this as long as I want to. If and when we get back to 2010, 2012 type dark times, I think there'll be enough of a market. Most people will go away. Competition will go away. Like there are people that are full time in MetaZoo only. It's significantly smaller. It's significantly less liquid than Pokemon. But if you're one of the guys who wants to go for it, you can be full time in Dragon Ball Super. You can be full time with MetaZoo only. You can be full time with like these smaller things only. And if Pokemon were to retract by 95%, there would be enough room for me to be full time only, and I could be. And whether I would choose to be, I don't know. But like people were doing it 10, 12 years ago, and I'm confident that I could do it if I cared to in the future. Get it while the getting is good, nothing lasts forever. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat. The eating is good right now. If you go live with Jake, will there be booze and will there be over under $3,000 in product opened? I have a lot less sealed product on hand than I did the last time. One, because we opened a lot of it, and two, because I sent a lot of it to Troll and Toad Evo as like a last hurrah before they go away from me. So I have a lot of MetaZoo. I have a lot of Paldea evolved in Scarlet and Violet. I do not have like crazy stuff. I have a little bit of Harry Potter, I see. I have a little bit of I think I sent all my Final Fantasy. I think I sent all my My Hero Academia, some of the random stuff we opened last time. Yeah, I don't have a lot of stuff. Dan reacts variety stream. I'm not a big fan of reaction content. I don't think I'll ever do reaction content. I did buy 6 boxes of Lord of the Rings. I was going to. I want maybe we'll crack a box of Lord of the Rings collector box. I wanted to do a stream with that for fun, just to like go for the $1 million, $2 million ring, whatever. Uh, but now that's gone. There's still a lot of other things you could pull. But yeah, maybe Jake and I will if we do a stream, maybe we'll crack one of those. A little bit of Pokemon, a little bit of MetaZoo, hunt for serialized cards, hunt for golden tickets, things like that. Yeah, MTG Lord of the Rings was for brick and mortars only, but I bought 4 or 6 through Rudy. I forget how many it was. Question for fun: what WotC booster box has the best EV? Legendary Collection gets my vote because of the firework reverses. I don't think it would be Legendary Collection because it's so expensive. I think it would be something like First Edition Jungle or Fossil. Um, all the EVs are going to be pretty damn negative, but I think it's going to be something where I mean, if you grade everything that can get a 10, there are a lot of $50 to $100, maybe like $40 to $100 commons and uncommons in Fossil and Jungle. More so Jungle, because you have the Eevee and Pikachu, a couple $100. I haven't sold one in a while, so maybe they're down more from where I last knew. But I think it would be like Jungle. I think it would be Jungle at like 10 to 12K. Could be wrong, though. And it would still be negative. Reggie Card says, Dan, why is your lawn so patchy? I saw the pictures. My lawn's actually pretty solid. Where I used to live, very, very patchy lawn, very, very sandy soil. I only had to mow my lawn like 2 to 3 times a month. Where I'm at now, I have to mow my lawn every third or fourth day because the soil is so good. It grows so well. I have, so my house is about 200 feet away from the road. 200-foot driveway, long driveway. And then there's a secondary driveway that goes 100 feet further out back to like an outbuilding, like a second garage. So I have my smoker back at my second garage, very reflective glass front on my smoker, and you could see like the patchy lawn. It's actually a gravel driveway. It's a gravel driveway that was put in 20 years ago, and desperately needs to be either paved or re like stoned, like layer a new layer of crusher run or something on it because it's growing in. It's mostly turned into grass, but it's actually like a gravel driveway. uh you think Pokemon will ever cut the hollow, reverse hollow pattern out and try something different with that slot? On a long enough timeline, I think they'll go shinier and flashier. I think 500 years from now, it'll be more like Dragon Ball Super, where everything is just an alt-art, crazy variant of some kind. They took a big leap in shininess factor when they in Scarlet and Violet when they went to 3 per pack to justify the MSRP increase. So yeah, 10, 20 years from now, I expect there to be more shiny stuff, shinier, flashier in different ways. Dan, when are you going to do a video about the slabs worlds you have on eBay to hype them a little? You talking about just the World Championship cards, like the Champions Festivals and Tidal Waves? And I need to be better about, I do one short a week and sometimes I do a card spinning on a turntable. I need to do better features of my consignment cards, better features. I need to use my socials more to push that affiliate link, to push the cool cards too. Like I think cool content can be made showing cool cards with some nice background music. Shout out ZNG Emporium. I don't know who he has doing his editing, but I think every week he takes like 5 to 10 cards. He turns them, he flips them, he spins them, and 3 to 5 second like well edited transitions between the cards. And I need to do content like that and show off, especially the consigners cards. I need to show off the consigners cards better, show off my own cards better, and just get higher sell-through rates wherever possible. And then just get more of a social media following, not going viral, things like that. That's probably not happening, but still a good benefit. Scalability. Scalability is another video I'm going to make at some point soon in the next several weeks. The scalability of socials are very, very attractive. Scalability of selling is harder unless you're willing to hire. Different ways to raise demand without changing supply, change in amount of buyers. Welcome, China. Welcome to all the aliens that apparently exist, too. Yeah, I can't imagine mowing grass in the summer in Florida. I'm not going to find out, Pokestone. Garen broke the money printer on Lily. I'm assuming Issa was memeing about Chinese having the English back. Yeah, I have you gotta open it, but yeah, here's like a Chinese 001 SVP. I usually cut these open. These are kind of, there we go. Yeah, the Chinese ones are made in Japan, Chinese English back, but they actually do say right on them, they say made in Japan somewhere on here, which is interesting. Dan, what makes you send stuff to Beckett for the Black Label Premium? Do you just send in mass of the same card and hold the non-10s you get? I don't hold them, I sell them. I mean, I go for Black Label 10s and then I sell them. Like I have this Black Label right here. I have this card in BGS 10 and BGS 9.5 on my eBay. They're slowly selling as well. Thoughts on the Evolutions Premium collections? I had some that I got allocated to me. I think unless those were exclusive non-online, like were they exclusive through GameStop or somewhere? I forget. I'm not gonna. I don't turn around and chase product like that. You're talking about speculating on buying a product at full market. I'm not gonna. If I could buy them for 70% and sell them, those I would want to buy at like 60% and then sell them. I would do that, but I do not buy and speculate on the prices going up of products that are multiples of MSRP. I can more than spend all my money that I have cash flow wise on at or below wholesale cost, at or below like a discount to market. Target online having booster boxes does not mean that Target has booster boxes. A lot of Target sellers, a lot of Walmart sellers on their website are third-party sellers. So just like I sell through eBay, I could get an account and I could sell through Target. I could get an account and sell through Walmart, and I could sell booster boxes through there. I think MetaZoo's more than hanging on for dear life. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't see their internal financials, but I think they're doing pretty well. People think that like, and I know Brad is often largely just memeing, but even meme questions can generate good conversation. I think I think a lot of people think that TCG is only successful if it's number one, if it knocks off Pokemon. If they're not printing 20 billion cards in a year, and if their boxes aren't selling for $1,000 a year later, it's not a success. Um, it's crazy. It's just crazy. It goes to the whole parable of the Mexican fisherman, the concept of enough. A lot of people just don't have any kind of a concept of enough. And I'm not Mike. I'm not the CEO owner of. I'm not deep in MetaZoo to know like the long term goals and what they'd actually be happy with. But I feel like there's room for TCGs to exist where they're making 25 to 100,000 booster boxes per set and making a few million a year in revenue and being happy with that. Like I think that's fine. If it's not fine per the investors, per the owner, yeah, then things might go away. But I genuinely don't know the answers to those questions. I've thought about it. I might make one eventually. Not that it will kill Lorcana, but it will out survive Lorcana. How important do you think buy the card, not the grade, I'm assuming you meant, is versus big number on graded cards? The market's so irrational, I have a hard time knowing. Buy the card is the rational stance, but buy the card, sell the label. But people might always just stay label buyers. It would be great for business. Hopefully they do. What content will you be doing on Friday for the OSRS stream? I have an alchemical hydra task right now. I need to kill 15 of them without leaving the room. I think I have 19 left. And then I'm going to try the Derox method on sub 10 HP on alchemical hydra without, trying to not die with sub 10 hit points with the Derox method. And then after that, I'll see what my next Slayer task is. I might do a little bit of Slayer. I might go do Vorkath. If people want to go do Corp, maybe we'll do Corp masses. I don't think we'll have enough people for that, but we'll see where it goes. Buy the number, not the card all day. If it's not a 10, throw it away. If you're full-time in MetaZoo, God bless you. There are people that are full-time. Maybe they have full-time jobs. I don't know. But there are definitely people in the MetaZoo community that don't do other TCGs. They only do MetaZoo. There are some that crush it. Like, Pokemon is massive. Pokemon is, I mean, top IP of all time, blah, blah, blah. There's room for hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of us. MetaZoo, like, there might only be dozens of people doing it full time. But what did they say? 50 million in revenue in their first couple of years, I think they recently announced. There's absolutely enough market activity in MetaZoo to sustain individuals being full time. It's not nearly as massive as Pokemon, but yeah, whatever. uh, E-reader sets are definitely quite easy grading sets. Skyridge is quite easy grading, pack fresh, but still, some of the PSA 10s are like a few $100s, and those boxes are so expensive. It's crazy. Dan, can you explain the stonkage that is happening on these PSA 10 Japanese first edition prime cards? I'm not aware of it. I don't have any in inventory. I want to sell Celebration Charizards, not those onesie twosies. Please don't answer. It depends. In general, would you purchase a new CGC Gem Mint for 50% of the cost of the same card in PSA 10? No, I would buy it raw and I would grade the Gem Mint 10 or the Pristine 10, and then I would sell it. There's no, it depends. I do not buy graded cards. I sell them on consignment. If you wanna sell to me for 50%, so then I can subsequently sell it for more money, sure. But like more and more, I still theoretically will buy graded card collections, but my percents are going down significantly. Consign it for 95%. Don't take 60% from me. I don't even want to pay you 60%. I just want to consign it often. I want to buy raw and grade. When are we getting shiny alt arts? Will that lead to another boom? Soon? Maybe. What are your thoughts on the new art rares? ARs not having texture. I feel like it's a major missed opportunity for Scarlet Violet. I think they look really cool, texture or not. Texture is probably better, but maybe they'll grade easier without the texture. So bigger number, bigger money, maybe, is the thought. Ever thought about including graded video games in your inventory? Some have great margins, but I guess some sales aren't consistent, so I answered my own questions. Liquidity is just not there. No liquidity whatsoever. Yeah, Brad, I'm just trying to help someone. I mean, I got to leave in like 10 or 15 minutes, so I'm just trying to get somebody their first bingo. I haven't seen bingo called in chat yet. Um, I can edit more videos if I stop messing with MetaZoo. I've never edited a video. I mean, I edit a little bit with the default Windows video editor. I do want to still get, I mentioned it. I think I said like 2 or 3 months ago I was going to get Adobe Premiere, or yeah, whatever it's called. I've not yet done that. It's still on my list, but it's just far down on my list. Dan, my statement I sent to Mason after his video. What do you think? Scalpers grabbing more Japanese to flip it in USA and Canada, which is removing money out of the table on English that arrives always later, so people don't buy English much anymore. I don't really know. I don't really know what the reason is for Japanese going as crazy it is and English floundering so hard. To some extent, it's just supply and demand. I don't know though. Like, did they print Paldea Evolved and Scarlet and Violet in the same quantities? Did they print them in 10 times the quantity of the late Sword Shield sets? I just have no idea. I wish we would get print run information. We get the total print run information, 9.7 billion cards, but we don't get like set by set, which I would love to get. Target, not third party. I bought one. Let me go to Target's website and check for booster box. I'm pretty sure it's third party sellers on their website. I know that Walmart definitely has third party sellers. I would expect Target does too. Pokemon booster box. I see ETBs. What booster box? I don't see any booster boxes here. I see booster bundles. Maybe you're talking about booster bundles. Thoughts on... Oh, wait, I missed something. List every day and you will win long term according to the parable of the North American fishing boat captain. Yes, Target has it now. No Target in Canada, unfortunately. I don't see a booster box on Target. I just searched. Let me sort by high price. I don't see any Pokemon booster boxes on. I see the UPC. The company's revenue has zero to do with secondary market resellers. LOL. I'd like to see the numbers on someone who's full-time MetaZoo. I mean, the company's revenue definitely has some effect on it, because if they're selling a lot, that means there's a lot more out there for subsequent secondary market activity. So what the company sells, like, definitely matters. It's not one-to-one, but it absolutely matters. I mean, I know what I am going to net. I'm going to net profit in MetaZoo more in 2023 than I used to make as a salary. I am projected to do that as of right now. I think War is being pushed. Native killed it. Native absolutely killed it. So when you like, it's just crazy to be told that someone doing MetaZoo full time couldn't have made much money. I'm doing MetaZoo part time, and I made a lot of money from it. And I know it was Native, the supply chain, blah blah blah, and I got. Still though, like, I'm one guy doing it part-time, very small part-time, 5%, 10% of my time, tops. So yeah, whatever. Thoughts on when Logan Paul is gonna crack a MetaZoo Kickstarter booster box? Probably not anytime soon, but who knows? Maybe he's a big Bigfoot fan or Mothman fan. Even if Lorcana fails, will its sealed products still retain value for collectors? It could. There are Disney booster boxes from 1993 that are like $30. It might be worth $30 in 30 years if it fails. It might be worth $3,000. I think there are like Naruto booster boxes of a dead TCG. There are Dragon Ball Z Score booster boxes, decades old, that are like $2,000-$3,000. Dead TCG, but they're worth a lot of money. It could go any which way, which people love to hear. People just want to hear like, oh, it's guaranteed, it's gonna do this exactly, and a lot of people will say that, but I'm not gonna just guess like that. Yeah, I see the 151 UPC on Target, but I don't see boxes. Japanese equals inorganic demand. Sneakerheads next sector of the market they are wanting to extort, chase the money. Yeah, I mean, probably. Definitely could be the case. Danny, I think you're talking about third-party sellers. Let's see if Target has third-party sellers. Yes. Target has third-party sellers. It's called Target Plus. Target Plus is a curated selection of products from third-party sellers on Target.com. So these booster boxes that you've seen on Target.com are almost certainly third-party resellers. I'm not saying it can't ever happen. Like Pokemon owns the IP, they own the product. If they decided they wanted to give booster boxes to Walmart and Target, and Walmart and Target decided that they wanted them, absolutely it could happen, but I just don't think it's happening. Send me a DM, send me an email, send me whatever way you have to send me. I'd be interested to see. Like I've just not heard that. I've not seen that anywhere. Taco says, I don't see how Lorcana can fail, honestly. What not needed to create a separate category to open Weiss, Disney 100? Lorcana is going to be insane. People just really like... It's such a dangerous thing that people think like these things can't fail. Anything can be overprinted. Pokemon printed 9.7 billion cards last year, and it largely wasn't enough. Had they printed 1 trillion cards last year, Pokemon would be dead. Pokemon could be printed to death. These things, a lot of people cry when the cards get too expensive. A lot of people cry when they can't have access to them. Think about the children. If these things had no value, though, if they were printed to where they were absolutely worthless, if they were printed like a deck of playing cards, where you literally just have 4 suits, ace through king, they don't have value. Well, that's how crazy Pokemon is. You can actually buy like, you can buy the poker decks, which those are 20 years old, but you can buy Uno cards and you can make money. You can buy, Pokemon is just in like this crazy over euphoric state of like everything goes up over time. So the longer it lasts, the better it is for me. So I mean, yeah, just buy, put in plastic, sell. I pay a lot more than 35. I got 1% of the print run. I pay a lot more than 35. Native, I didn't even have my boxes to rip and ship because of the whole supply things. But anyways, most of my stuff was single sales. If I had to guess, maybe 80% of my sales through Native were actually single sales. But that's whatever. But yeah, Lorcana could be printed to failure. Lorcana absolutely could die. MetaZoo at one point had said that they're going to do 50,000 boxes for every set moving ahead. First edition, second edition, third edition. Demand started to wane. People started souring on it, whatever. It didn't stonk as much as they needed it to stonk. So people moved on from MetaZoo. And MetaZoo cut the print runs. Or I think it was 100,000 and now it's 50. I believe in MetaZoo to where I think they will cut print runs again if needed. And people just don't appreciate the fact that supply actually matters. If MetaZoo were too stubborn, and if MetaZoo decided Even though the boxes are going down, like Wilderness was the first one that started going south pretty bad. Encrypted Nation second edition. If MetaZoo had said, who cares, we have all this money, let's print 250,000 boxes. MetaZoo could have printed itself to death. It could be gone as of today, but it's not. And people don't like to give it credit because it's not as big as Pokemon, because it's... people are just so weird with the thresholds they set for success, and yeah, I don't know. When are the Barbie cards hitting the market, and how many cases are you buying? I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I'm not buying any. Too much FOMO on Lorcana. FOMO is demand, regardless what you want to call it. I mean, MetaZoo print run's still too high. I'm selling native boxes at 105 shipped on eBay. I'm selling them from between 100 and 105. Maybe it's too high. Maybe it needs to go down a little bit more. But I think Sans is still 80, I believe. Maybe it will go down some. Maybe it needs to go down, and maybe it will be able to stabilize. And I don't really know. Like, people talk with so much confidence about stuff that they have no idea about. MetaZoo, like, Mike actually has all the internal financials. He has all the data. He has all the information. And that doesn't mean he's going to do the right things with all that information. That doesn't mean that even if he does all the right things, even if someone has all the information, does all the right things, doesn't mean it's going to pan out and work. But people, yeah, people just, it's like anywhere else in life. People just, I don't know. Yeah, Mason's talking about there's plenty of TCGs that do fine with low demand. Force of Will is 10 years old and still printing new sets. We're in Pokemon, so our perspective on like what is low, what is average, what is reasonable is so warped by the fact that we're working from the most liquid, biggest, craziest like TCG in many ways of like all time. Just mind-blowing to try to look at metrics of Pokemon and then use that as like, well, MetaZoo's not doing that. Flesh and Blood, whatever it may be, whatever TCG you want to talk about, using Pokemon as a comparison point, that's a tough thing. Have to Google Target Pokemon booster display box, then click on the link. Spending so much time on this just to ultimately find out probably. So I see Sword and Shield Lost Origin booster display box. This might actually be... I'm not super familiar with Target, so I don't know if this is theirs. But yeah, I'll drop the link right in chat. I might have been wrong. Target might actually be selling Lost Origin reprint boxes. I don't see where it would say what the whether this is a third party or not. But yeah, this might be Target. So maybe they actually did get the Lost Origin reprint. That's interesting. That's the first I've heard of that or seen anything. Mine came in a Target box from Target. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I apologize for pushing back on that when I was seemingly wrong. Because, yeah, this looks like... I don't see anywhere where it says third party. It looks as if Target actually got Lost Origin reprint, which is very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will be... Mason's in here. I'm sure that will be something Mason doesn't like to see. It's something I don't like to see. If anything, I would rather see Pokemon ban me, ban the online retailer, and give more stuff to the Masons, give more stuff to the brick and mortars, because I think they're more important to the health of the. I saw Pokestone, $143.99 plus tax. Yeah, you got a typo, $243. No, it's actually at retail. It's $143.99. Enforced wheel boxes are $70 at distros. Some people have tunnel vision when it comes to Pokemon. Dan, what's the welcome package look like on those invite-only Discords? The Greensh's question, why are TCGs pumped by Alpha Investments S-tier pump and dumps? Because there's a lot of Timmies, including myself, in those in that Patreon. So when you have a baseline of 3,000 Timmies who have some amount of money to burn or credit card space to burn, that can go a long ways towards these new things. But it's probably from their warehouse only. Don't care. Yeah, with that, I'm wrapping up a little bit before 4:30 because I do have to go to the post office still. I have to go to UPS as well. So I appreciate everyone hanging out for today. I will be live tomorrow on PokeFlips. I will be live Friday playing RuneScape on this channel. I will be live potentially, hopefully not, but maybe, on tomorrow night on this channel with Jake. Jake might be right here, so we'll see what happens with that. As always, I appreciate everyone watching and hanging out.